Hi, Voice Symbol is an AAC app that's downloadable to iDevices. It can be used with a touchscreen function on an iPad or a touchscreen function on a computer. It can also be used with a V-Pen. You can print the screens and you can use the voice pen to maximize the communication abilities of the client. One of the features of Voice Symbol is that it is adaptable to all age groups. It has multiple language abilities for multiple languages, English being the primary one, but many Asian languages and many other languages. You can customize the size of the individual fields so that you have just a few options on one screen or one option on one screen, or 16 options. It has grammatical features, pronouns, and things like that can be utilized. And of course the app is free to download, but there are multiple in-app purchases that I found would make the app less functional. One of the in-app purchases were things like medical words, foods, things that you would think would come with a basic app. It's easily accessible to any iDevice, it claims that it's accessible to any iDevice, and you can have it on your. It's marketed that you can have it on your phone or anything, so it's pretty transportable rather than carrying around a dedicated device that can be heavy and somewhat difficult to move around. I found a lot of downsides to the Voice Symbol AAC. The first one is some of the symbols are not iconic. So, for example, I had the first problem I had is it was very difficult to download. I have emails into customer support, and it crashes frequently, and it was very problematic and not user-friendly. I've since found other AAC apps, other than the one I chose for this presentation, that were very easy to download and very easy to use, and this one was not easy. So the symbols on some of the screens are not iconic. And here, for example, is one of them. And you can see that this one here is careers. Of course, that group of people standing there doesn't symbolize careers to me at all. There's some that are more iconic, like the food and music and sports. But I can see why some of these would not be very equal to what you would think they were. Some of the other, sorry, I lost my screen. Some of the other icons are more iconic and easier for a client to use. For example, the one on animals is pretty much artistic renderings of those animals, and they look very much like they should, or like you would think they would in real life, which I think would help the client quite a bit finding what they were looking for. Here we go. I did like the symbols. Get back so I can see if you can see this. I did like the symbols for the pronouns. I thought, and some of them were a little like is and are, like 2 chicks and an egg is are, and 1 chicken and egg is. So I didn't find those to be super clear to the client. So the in-app purchases I thought would be prohibitive for a client that's had limited income. And the symbols, while they're all labeled, if the symbol was non-literate, you wouldn't know what the difference between is and are were. So here's another example of the symbols being kind of cryptic and hard to decipher here on this one for happy and good. So happy is 2 thumbs up and good is 1 thumbs up. So good and bad I get, but the smiley face with the 2 thumbs up was not super clear. So I think as long as they're literate and they can read, those are pretty helpful, but otherwise it would make it difficult for them to figure out what needs to be communicated there. So additional cons and reasons I would not recommend this app would be that it freezes up frequently. It's very problematic from a technology standpoint when there's so many other apps out there that are easy to use to download to any device. The icons can be fairly small for somebody with limited fine motor skills. So depending on which device you are using, you would constantly have to switch from the smaller icons and larger icons, which I think could be problematic. You would have to be pretty tech savvy as a user to utilize the larger icons on your small iPhone and then the larger or the smaller icons on a larger screen. And that pretty much sums it up. I do not recommend it. If between now and when we do our presentations, I hear back from their tech support, I'll probably take back some of my negative comments about it. But at this point, I would not recommend Voice Symbol for any client anywhere. I think there are apps out there that are much easier to use and much more friendly than this one was. I had a lot of problems with getting it to function on any level for myself. So that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you.